I was born in New York, and then my parents, they separated very early on. Well, my mother got pregnant with my sister, so very early on. A lot of times if it's hard for you,
Yeah.
you at the extended family.
Why does life seem so cruel to those who deserve the most joy? Angela Bassett, a woman of immeasurable talent and grace, has spent decades dazzling audiences with her powerful performances. Yet behind the fame and accolades lies a heartbreaking journey of loss, rejection, and pain. She has endured unimaginable grief, from the devastating death of loved ones to the crushing disappointment of being repeatedly overlooked in an industry that has failed to fully recognize her brilliance. Please keep calm to listen to Angela Bassett's story. Angela Bassett may be one of Hollywood's most respected and celebrated A-listers today, but her journey to stardom was shaped by a childhood filled with challenges, resilience, and a deep appreciation for storytelling. Born on August 16, 1958, in New York City, Bassett's early years were marked by instability, separation, and a strong maternal influence that would ultimately shape her career and work ethic. Her life took a dramatic turn at a young age when her parents, Betty Jane and Daniel Benjamin Bassett, divorced. Following the split, Angela was sent to live with her aunt and uncle in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Reflecting on this time, Bassett has spoken about how her aunt and uncle stepped in to provide a stable home. "They took me as a 10-month-old baby and raised me," she shared in an interview with People. Though her aunt played a maternal role, she made it clear to young Angela that she was not meant to replace her biological mother. Despite the care and stability provided by her relatives, Bassett yearned for a deeper connection with her mother. That wish was eventually granted when her mother re-entered her life and moved with her to St. Petersburg, Florida. However, this reunion was far from the picture-perfect moment Bassett may have envisioned. Instead, it introduced her to an entirely new set of struggles. Her mother, Betty Jane, worked as a social worker and faced financial hardships while trying to raise Angela and her younger sister, Danette. Life in St. Petersburg was not easy, and Bassett recalls witnessing firsthand the challenges her mother endured to provide for her family. Despite the financial difficulties, Betty Jane remained steadfast in her values, instilling in her daughter a sense of dignity, self-respect, and the importance of hard work. "My mother had a lot of pride in how you show up and how you carry yourself," Bassett explained. She also recalled that her mother set extremely high standards for her, a quality that would later define her own approach to her craft. "I've had people say, 'You must have had a critical mother because you're tough on yourself.' But yeah, she set high standards," she admitted. Though her childhood was filled with obstacles, it was also during this time that Bassett's passion for storytelling and performance began to emerge. Interestingly, it was her mother's own dramatic flair that may have planted the seed. In an interview with The Guardian, Bassett humorously noted that her mother had a naturally theatrical side, which may have subtly influenced her path toward acting. Her upbringing in Florida was marked by a strong academic focus. Bassett excelled in school and found a love for reading and performing. She attended Boca Ciega High School, where she was part of the debate team, student government, and the choir. Her exposure to the arts deepened when she saw a performance of The Diary of Anne Frank, an experience that left a lasting impression on her. Inspired by the power of storytelling, she pursued a degree in African American Studies at Yale University, later earning a Master of Fine Arts from the Yale School of Drama. When Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance tied the knot in 1997, they shared not only a deep love for each other, but also a common dream, building a family together. However, their path to parenthood was far from easy. What should have been a joyous and natural process turned into a long and heartbreaking struggle filled with years of uncertainty, disappointment, and emotional challenges. Their unwavering love and determination ultimately led them to a solution that would change their lives forever. For years, Bassett and Vance attempted to conceive naturally, but faced repeated setbacks. After multiple failed attempts, they turned to fertility treatments, hopeful that medical advancements would help them achieve their dream. However, this process proved to be grueling, both physically and emotionally. The couple endured 7 years of fertility treatments, each unsuccessful attempt bringing a wave of disappointment. Despite the pain of each failed procedure, Bassett remained determined. In a joint interview on The Oprah Winfrey Show in 2007, she candidly shared the emotional toll the journey took on her, saying, "I was devastated when it didn't happen, again and again. I had to remain hopeful and resilient. Okay, let's do it again." Through it all, Bassett and Vance leaned on each other for support. Their love and commitment strengthened as they faced each challenge together, refusing to give up on their dream. Just when hope seemed to be slipping away, a friend of Bassett's shared a life-changing story. She had recently welcomed a child through surrogacy. Inspired by this revelation, Bassett and Vance decided to explore the possibility of surrogacy themselves. This decision marked a turning point in their journey, offering renewed hope for the family they had longed for. In 2006, their perseverance finally paid off when their surrogate gave birth to their fraternal twins, Bronwyn Golden and Slater Josiah. The moment was nothing short of miraculous for the couple, who had spent years hoping, praying, and trying. For Vance, this extraordinary event felt like a dream come true, literally. He revealed to Oprah that years before, he had dreamt about having twins, but had no idea how it would come to pass. When his vision finally became a reality, it felt like fate had played its part. Welcoming their twins into the world was an overwhelming moment of joy and gratitude for Bassett and Vance. After nearly a decade of struggle, they were finally parents. The journey had been long and painful, but it had led them to the family they always wanted. Their love and commitment to each other had seen them through their darkest times, and now they could embrace the happiness they had fought so hard to achieve. As parents, Bassett and Vance are devoted to providing their children with love, guidance, and encouragement. With 2 accomplished and award-winning actors as their role models, Bronwyn and Slater have been exposed to a world of creativity and ambition from an early age. Though still young, the twins are already showing signs of pursuing their own passions. In an interview with People, Bassett shared that her children have expressed interest in various fields, saying, "It's a little music, a little sports, but whatever they want to do, I support them." Her words reflect the same resilience and faith she demonstrated throughout her own journey, ensuring that her children have the freedom to chase their dreams, just as she and Vance have done. Angela Bassett has long been a powerful voice in the fight for diversity and inclusion in the film industry. As an actress, she has portrayed strong, complex Black women who challenge stereotypes, and as a public figure, she has used her platform to shed light on issues of racism and inequality. Her commitment to representation extends beyond her career. It is deeply personal. As a mother of 2 African-American children, Bassett has witnessed firsthand the impact that racism can have on young lives, and she continues to advocate for a world in which they and all children of color can thrive without prejudice. In a 2018 interview with People, Bassett opened up about the heartbreaking experiences her children, Bronwyn and Slater, have faced due to their race. She revealed that, shockingly, they encountered issues of discrimination as early as preschool. Even from the age of 4 from preschool, they've had to deal with, and as crazy as it seems, or sounds, color issues, she shared. Or because they were African Americans, and whether other kids will play with them or have issue with that. As a mother, Bassett expected that one day her children would have to confront racism, but she never imagined it would happen so soon. The realization that even the youngest children could experience exclusion based on race was deeply painful. She described witnessing these moments as something that squeezes your heart, a feeling of helplessness that no parent should have to endure. However, instead of responding with anger toward the children who had treated her kids unfairly, Bassett chose a perspective rooted in understanding. She recognized that racism is not an innate trait, but something that is learned. It can't come from their young minds, she explained. It's something that they've heard somewhere. This insight highlights the responsibility that adults, parents, educators, and society as a whole bear in shaping the way children perceive race. Her words serve as a reminder that children absorb the messages they hear at home and in the world around them, making it essential to foster an environment of inclusion, respect, and understanding. Bassett's awareness of these struggles, both as a mother and as a Black woman in the entertainment industry, has influenced the roles she chooses and the stories she helps bring to life. One of the most significant examples of this is her involvement in Black Panther, the groundbreaking 2018 Marvel film that celebrated African culture, history, and strength. In an interview with ESPN, Bassett spoke about the film's importance, particularly for young Black children who rarely see themselves portrayed as royalty, heroes, and leaders in mainstream media. This film is a testament to the lineage that we come from and how we want our daughters to see themselves. They are princesses, and our sons are princes, she said. Her role as Queen Ramonda in Black Panther was more than just another acting job. It was a way to show her children and millions of others that Black heritage is rich, powerful, and worthy of celebration. The film shattered stereotypes and provided a long-overdue representation of Black excellence, reinforcing the message that African American children should grow up seeing themselves as capable, strong, and regal. Beyond her work on screen, Bassett continues to use her influence to push for greater representation and diversity in Hollywood. She understands that visibility in film and television plays a crucial role in shaping societal perceptions, breaking down racial barriers, and empowering future generations. By choosing roles that challenge the status quo and speaking openly about the realities of racism, she is helping to create a world where children like her own can see themselves reflected in powerful and inspiring ways. Hollywood, like many industries, has long struggled with inclusivity, often sidelining Black actors and limiting their opportunities. For Angela Bassett, breaking into the industry meant navigating a system that rarely offered fair auditions to actors who looked like her. She entered the entertainment world at a time when seeing Black actors on screen was considered a rarity, something she found deeply frustrating. "When I came into this business, the path was not clear," Bassett told Variety. "I grew up at a time when it was a special occasion when people who looked like me were featured on the television screen or movie screen or in the theaters." Despite these challenges, Bassett managed to build an impressive career, becoming a household name in the 1990s. Her powerful performances in films like What's Love Got to Do with It, 1993, Waiting to Exhale, 1995, and How Stella Got Her Groove Back, 1998, cemented her reputation as one of Hollywood's most talented actresses. Yet, even with her success, she found herself constantly battling against the industry's tendency to box Black women into limited, often stereotypical roles. She longed for roles that showcased her versatility, characters with depth, complexity, and emotional range, rather than one-dimensional figures confined to narratives of struggle, servitude, or hypersexualization. One of the most notable moments of Bassett's career came in 2002 when she turned down the lead role in Monsters Ball, the very role that would later earn Halle Berry her historic Academy Award for Best Actress. Bassett's decision was not about rejecting an opportunity for recognition, but rather about maintaining her artistic integrity. Speaking to Newsweek at the time, she explained that she was unwilling to take on a role that, in her view, reinforced negative stereotypes about Black women. "I would love to have an Oscar, but it has to be for something I can sleep with at night," she said, via The New Yorker. Her words reflected a deep commitment to ensuring that her body of work was one she could be proud of, even if it meant turning down major roles. Bassett's patience and dedication to her principles often meant waiting, sometimes for decades, for the kinds of roles she truly wanted. Despite being widely regarded as one of the best actresses of her generation, she spent years longing for a role that would allow her to showcase her full range of talent. In many ways, that role finally came in 2018 with Black Panther, where she portrayed Queen Ramonda, the regal and wise mother of T'Challa. The role was groundbreaking not just because of the film's cultural significance, but because it gave Bassett the chance to play a character who exuded dignity, strength, and wisdom. However, it was the 2022 sequel, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, that truly gave her the depth she had long been waiting for. As Queen Ramonda, she delivered a performance filled with raw emotion, power, and vulnerability, capturing the grief of a mother who had lost her son while still carrying the weight of leading a nation. The performance earned her widespread acclaim and an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress, making her the first Marvel actor to receive such an honor. For Bassett, the journey to that moment had been long and, at times, disheartening. "So yeah, I didn't really believe. And I'm 64 years old. It's like, okay, when? It's been 30 years now. Time's a-ticking. We're burning daylight. When's this gonna happen?" she told The New Yorker, expressing the frustration of waiting decades for Hollywood to finally offer her the kind of role she had always deserved. As a woman, you're always looking for complex roles, whether you're 28 or 68. In 2014, Angela Bassett faced one of the most profound and heartbreaking losses of her life, the passing of her mother, Betty Jane, due to heart failure. The loss was not just deeply personal, but also a wake-up call about the health issues that disproportionately affect many Americans, particularly in the Black community. Rather than grieving in silence, Bassett made a powerful decision to use her platform to raise awareness about the very conditions that took her mother's life: type 2 diabetes and heart disease. She has since become an advocate for better health education, urging people to take their well-being seriously before it's too late. Bassett has openly spoken about how losing her mother changed her perspective on health. In an interview with Good Morning America, she reflected on how she wanted to honor Betty Jane's memory by ensuring that others don't have to endure the same pain. "With it, I'm able to just honor the woman that my mother was and also to use this incredible platform that I have to get the word out," she said. Watching her mother struggle with health complications later in life made her realize how critical it is to take proactive steps toward wellness. The experience reshaped the way Bassett approaches her own health. She has since prioritized regular doctor visits, yearly checkups, and staying in close communication with her physician. "I make sure that I see my doctor regularly for my yearly checkups, and if there's anything that I'm concerned about, I will text him or call him or go in," she shared. But beyond looking after herself, she is even more vigilant about her children's health. "Of course, I have to be an advocate for my kids. I think I'm a little bit more hyper and concerned about them than even myself sometimes," she admitted. Bassett's advocacy extends beyond her own family. She has lent her voice to campaigns aimed at spreading awareness about the connection between diabetes and heart disease, a link that many people are unaware of. One of her most notable contributions is her involvement in the For Your Sweetheart campaign, where she appeared alongside her uncle, who also lives with diabetes. Through this initiative, Bassett shares her mother's story and helps inform viewers about the serious risks associated with these conditions, encouraging people to take preventive measures. As an actress, Bassett has always been known for her powerful presence on screen. But in this case, she's using her voice for something even more impactful: saving lives. By speaking openly about her mother's health struggles, she has sparked important conversations about preventative care, particularly in Black communities where these diseases are prevalent. Her message is clear: being proactive about health can make all the difference. In 2018, Black Panther took the world by storm, breaking box office records and cementing itself as a cultural phenomenon. The Marvel film resonated deeply with audiences, particularly Black communities, for its rich representation of African culture, strong storytelling, and groundbreaking portrayals of powerful Black heroes. Angela Bassett, who played Queen Ramonda, and Chadwick Boseman, who portrayed King T'Challa, stood as the proud leaders of Wakanda, capturing the hearts of fans worldwide. With its overwhelming success, audiences eagerly anticipated future sequels featuring the dynamic duo and the continuation of Wakanda's legacy. However, in August 2020, the shocking and heartbreaking news of Chadwick Boseman's death shook the world. The beloved actor had privately battled colon cancer for 4 years, a struggle he never publicly disclosed. His passing left an immense void, not just in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but in the hearts of his colleagues and fans alike. The loss was devastating for Bassett, who had worked closely with Boseman, sharing powerful on-screen moments as mother and son. His quiet strength and immense talent had made a lasting impression on her, making the reality of his absence difficult to accept. Following Boseman's passing, Marvel had the difficult task of deciding how to move forward with the Black Panther franchise. Director Ryan Coogler was faced with the painful challenge of rewriting the sequel, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, without its central figure. The entire cast, including Bassett, had to navigate an emotional and demanding filming process, grappling with grief while bringing Wakanda back to life. The storyline itself mirrored their real-life sorrow, as Queen Ramonda and the people of Wakanda were forced to mourn the loss of their beloved king. During the filming of Wakanda Forever, the emotions were raw, and each day on set served as both a tribute and a reminder of Boseman's absence. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Bassett described the deep grief that permeated the set. "We are all going through this grief. I mean literal tears every day on the set as we're sitting on the set where we sat with him, not knowing what we now know as we try to strike lightning again." Filming scenes in locations where they had once worked alongside Boseman was an emotional challenge, but the cast remained united, channeling their pain into their performances. Before stepping onto the set for the sequel, Bassett and her fellow cast members took part in a heartfelt tribute to Boseman. In an appearance on The Kelly Clarkson Show, Bassett shared that the cast visited his final resting place together. "We went to visit together his resting place," she revealed. "It was a beautiful day. His uncles were there, his cousin, and we just spoke from our hearts about him, how we felt about him, our times with him. That was really, really lovely." The visit was an opportunity to honor his memory and share their love for him before embarking on a project that would undoubtedly be one of the most emotional of their careers. For Bassett, playing Queen Ramonda in Wakanda Forever became more than just another role. It was a way to honor Boseman's legacy and the impact he left behind. Her powerful performance as the grieving yet strong and determined queen resonated deeply with audiences, earning her widespread acclaim and an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. It was a historic moment for both Marvel and for Bassett, who became the first actor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to receive an Oscar nomination for their performance. Angela Bassett's portrayal of Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It remains one of the most iconic performances of her career, but behind the scenes, the experience was grueling, both physically and emotionally. The 1993 biographical film chronicled Turner's journey from a young, aspiring singer to a global superstar, highlighting the resilience she displayed in overcoming an abusive marriage to Ike Turner. For Bassett, playing such a legendary figure was an opportunity to showcase her talent on a grand stage, but it came at a significant cost. To accurately capture Turner's powerful stage presence, immense vocal energy, and emotional depth, Bassett underwent intense preparation. She not only had to embody the singer's essence in performances, but also endure the harrowing reenactment of the domestic violence Turner suffered at the hands of Ike Turner, played by Lawrence Fishburne. In an interview at the 2023 Santa Barbara International Film Festival, Bassett reflected on the 3-month shoot, describing it as one of the most exhausting and demanding experiences of her career. Director Brian Gibson pushed the cast relentlessly, requiring Bassett to film multiple takes of musical numbers and emotionally charged scenes. The workload was staggering, with Bassett recalling days that stretched far beyond a typical filming schedule. "Let me tell you, I was so exhausted after that experience," she admitted in the interview via IndieWire. The last day when she's in the limousine fighting Ike, that was literally a 25-hour day. The physical toll of the role was immense, as she had to match Turner's boundless energy on stage while enduring difficult reenactments of her personal struggles off stage. However, it wasn't just the intense schedule that made filming difficult for Bassett. It was also the way her voice was dismissed on set. She revealed that, as a black woman in Hollywood, her input was often ignored, even when it came to scenes that were particularly sensitive. One of the most difficult moments to film was a graphic depiction of sexual assault, a scene that required her to repeatedly endure the distressing reenactment. Bassett recalled that, despite the emotional weight of the scene, director Brian Gibson didn't consider her feelings or perspective. Instead, he took direction from her male co-star, Fishburne, over her. "We would do the rape scene, and as I said, we were doing things over and over, and it's such a debasing sort of feeling," Bassett explained. "And so, Lawrence would say, 'Angela, how many times do you want to do this?' Because Brian would listen to him before he would listen to me. He didn't listen to this female voice, this black female voice who's just getting a shot." Her words highlight a troubling reality that many women, particularly black women, face in Hollywood: a lack of agency over their own experiences, even when portraying deeply personal and traumatic material. Despite these challenges, Bassett's performance in What's Love Got to Do with It was nothing short of extraordinary. She captured Turner's physicality, emotional depth, and unwavering strength with such authenticity that she earned widespread critical acclaim. Her dedication to the role led to an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, one of the highest honors of her career. Though she ultimately did not win, her portrayal of Tina Turner remains one of the most celebrated biopic performances in film history. When Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was released in 2022, Angela Bassett's commanding performance as Queen Ramonda captivated audiences and critics alike. The film, a sequel to the groundbreaking Black Panther, 2018, carried immense emotional weight following the untimely passing of Chadwick Boseman, who played King T'Challa. In the sequel, Bassett's character not only led Wakanda through a period of deep mourning, but also fought fiercely to protect her kingdom. Her portrayal of a grieving yet powerful mother resonated deeply, and it didn't take long for Oscar buzz to surround her performance. Bassett, already a Hollywood icon, had been nominated for an Academy Award once before, back in 1994 for her electrifying portrayal of Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It. Many had believed she was destined to win that year, but she ultimately lost to Holly Hunter, the piano. Nearly 3 decades later, her nomination for Wakanda Forever reignited the hope that she would finally take home an Oscar, an achievement long overdue for an actress of her caliber. Leading up to the Academy Awards, all signs pointed to victory for Bassett. She won both the Golden Globe Award and the Critics' Choice Award for Best Supporting Actress, 2 major precursors that often indicate Oscar success. Many believed that these wins paved the way for her to make history as the first actor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, to win an Academy Award for their performance. Industry professionals and fans alike were thrilled at the prospect of Bassett receiving the recognition she deserved after years of delivering stellar performances. However, when the moment of truth arrived at the 2023 Oscars, the outcome stunned many. When the Best Supporting Actress category was announced, The award went to Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once instead. Gasps could be heard across social media as many viewers believed that Bassett had been the clear frontrunner. The camera panned to Bassett's reaction, capturing a moment that quickly went viral. Unlike many nominees who immediately clapped for the winner, Bassett appeared visibly disappointed, her expression unreadable as Curtis walked to the stage. Some fans criticized Bassett's reaction, interpreting it as poor sportsmanship. However, many others defended her, pointing out that her reaction was simply honest and human. After dedicating decades to the film industry and having already experienced a major Oscar snub in 1994, it was understandable that she felt the weight of yet another loss. Her supporters argued that Black women, in particular, have often been expected to remain poised and gracious even when faced with disappointment, and that Bassett's genuine reaction should be respected rather than scrutinized. Following the Oscars, Bassett did not publicly address the loss directly, but she did seem to acknowledge the emotional toll of such high-stakes award nights. In April 2023, when Time named Elvis star Austin Butler one of the most influential people of the year, Bassett penned a touching tribute to him, referencing their shared experience of heartbreak on Oscar night. On the evening of the Oscars, with Austin seated next to me, I understood intimately what he felt when it was time to learn if he would climb those stairs to the stage, she wrote. So I took his hand and held it softly as the winner was announced. Although his name wasn't called, Austin is no less a winner. Her words not only highlighted her empathy for Butler, but also reflected her own journey, one marked by extraordinary talent and at times disappointment. What do you think about the bad things Angela Bassett went through? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.